Okay, so it's Tuesday, January 7th, 2020. It's our first full week here in 2020 New Year, and we've seen some decent movement from Bitcoin, almost $1,000 move from the bottom, right? Again, for those of you who are watching this for free on YouTube or you're in the free lounge, we are running a 50% off discount right now for our membership, all right? Uh, it's only valid for first-time members, and it's only valid for 1 month and 3 month subscriptions. Okay, so what we're looking at right now, folks, is the beginning of the year, and I did expect some volatility. If you go to the Cryptosomniac.com page, you can join the Advantage subscription right there. Okay, but unfortunately, that doesn't do 50% discount. So if you go into the description of the YouTube video below, you will see a link for Discord, and you can click on that and you can join the free side of the community right here. And then you can shoot me a message right here, and we can talk and discuss the 50% discount if you're interested in the 1 month or the 3 month. 1 month currently at full price is $97, so 3 month is $300, but that with 50% off, 1 month becomes $50, and the 3 month is $150. So I suggest you guys get it while it's hot. We're seeing some great volatility in the markets. As you guys can clearly see, the gains reviews are stacking up already for the year. We had some great long positions yesterday, made some really great money, as you can see, obviously. So these gains reviews, I promise you, I'm not paying anyone. These people are willingly, writing these reviews. Our community consistently makes good gains, and I, for the most part, can tell you guys that we are probably one of the best communities out there that not only delivers trade setups consistently, but we put out a ton of content to our members, all right? And you can, again, come join the free side down here, right? The description, Discord link is below, and you can come join the community discussion, and you can see how good of a job we do, okay? And the free videos that you see on YouTube are only 5% of the content that we put out. Every single day, aside from the video, right, we do tons of other live sessions like this one right here, as you can see, and then I do updates through the day. I let people know exactly what I'm thinking of. I write summaries, I post other analyses, and so people understand and know exactly what is on my mind, what I'm thinking about, how I'm positioned in terms of trades right here too, okay? I can show you guys our trade from yesterday, okay? So here is my, where was it? My entry, okay? Let's see here. Okay, my true entry was right around this area, okay? So 75.78, okay? So I went long right here, all right, as you can see, right there. And then I took some profit right around 77.40, okay? So I cut 1/3 of my position right there, okay? I cut the other third right there around 78.74, all right? And then I cut my final position right around 79.84, okay? So right basically at the tippy top right around here when we had that big spike up, okay? So you're probably wondering, okay, well, why didn't I just ride this thing from the bottom to the top? First of all, that's impossible. I'm never gonna be the kind of person that is able to do that, and neither are you. So you can, pretty much forget that. But if you can ride the middle, right, this whole chunk right here, you can make a lot of good money, okay? And that's essentially the basis of our style of trading in this market, is don't worry about the tops and the bottoms, worry about the meat of the move from here to here, from here, to here, that kind of thing, okay? So if you understand that when it comes to trading, you do not need to catch the tops or bottoms to be able to secure the most amount of gains. To be honest, the most amount of money is actually made in the meat of the move anyway, because a lot of profit taking is being, taken right in the middle. I don't think you guys realize that a majority of the whales do not just simply buy the bottom and then sell the top, okay? They actually take incremental profit through the move, okay? Because they have such large positions, right? They have to. They cannot just sell $50 million at the top because, chances are no one's gonna buy it. They're gonna see a big wall. So what they do is, they passively sell orders all through the move. okay? So it doesn't matter if they don't make from the bottom of this move to the top. It doesn't matter if they don't make this whole 15% of the move, okay? Even if they make from, you know, this middle to this middle right here, so even a good 6 to 7%, that's good enough for them. And this is how you need to think too. Stop thinking like a retailer and thinking that you need to catch the bottoms and you need to sell the tops, or you need to short the tops and sell the bottoms, okay? Think like a professional would think. Set stops, manage your risk properly, okay? Don't go too high of a leverage. Do not use too high of positions that may, you know, cause your original capital to deplete, and take profit often, okay? And once you get stopped, just stop and think, why did you get stopped? Was there a reason for you to get stopped? And did the structure change after you got stopped, okay? Because chances are what's really happening is that once you get stopped, at least if you set stops properly like we do in our community, okay? If you set stops properly, you'll realize that once you get stopped out, something is wrong with the trend, okay? Now it's okay if you get stopped out and then the price starts taking off. You can hop in the middle, right? But it's not okay if you get stopped out and then you make the same mistake of forcing a trade again, and then the market goes the other way, okay? So this is something that we teach heavily in our community, all right? Okay, so enough of that spiel, okay? So yesterday, like I said, we had this long position, entered in right around 75, 78, closed out, in thirds of my position all the way to the top around 79.84. And now I'm just sitting and waiting, okay? I said yesterday, before this move even happened, I said, when we were down here, I said, first profit I'll be taking right around $7,700 or so. Second profit I'll be taking at the breach of this November 29th high. And then the third profit I'll be taking, finally, cutting my entire position in this blue block, okay? So as soon as price enters in this blue block, I don't care where it goes, how far it goes, I'm cutting my trade, okay? So this is one thing that people don't realize, that they don't have to shoot for, a specific price at the high. You have to just sell in the meat of the move, in the meat of the resistance, and get out while you can, okay? Before you get torched the other way, okay? So, in our community, we make things pretty clear by setting an example of why we're entering a trade, what kind of trade we're entering, what kind of risk is associated with it, what kind of leverage I'm using, entry, stop, target profits, etc. Okay? So, you can see right here, everything hit on the way, all right? And so now we're looking at a structure, all right? Let me see what's going on. Now we're looking at a structure that looks particularly, again, like a bull flag. And it looks like it's flagging right above this area that was previous big resistance. So you can see flagging above resistance like that is usually a positive sign, okay? Flagging under critical resistance, okay, like that is also another positive sign. So what BTC to me looks like right now, okay, is it looks like it wants to make another potential move up. But here's the thing, okay? Now, does it matter that it wants to make a potential move up right into the meat of the resistance, which is this blue area right here? To me, not really, okay? I really don't care, if it's going into this area, and I don't care about longs right now. What I care about is either looking for shorts in this blue block right here, or I want to wait for price to break above this area, maybe even test it as support, and then start to take off. That's the only time I'm gonna be interested in longs, okay? At least in this region right here. Now, another area that I would be interested in longs is like this, okay? Again, I discussed this in my live session yesterday for Advantage members. And that's one of the benefits that you get. We do evening analysis too, all right, for our Advantage members. So one thing that I discussed in my session yesterday was this, all right? So if we look at this 4-hour parallel channel, okay? Let's look at this first one, this blue one right here, okay? So remember that from this high right here that we had locally around $7,700, around the end of December, we created a lower high right there. And then just a couple days ago, we were flagging right at that channel right there, right? And then we broke through, right? Not only did we break through, okay? We came and tested that same channel resistance as support, and then we took off, okay? So now if we hold that same theory that, okay, there might be a retest on that bigger parallel channel, kind of like this one, right? This big black parallel channel that you see, descending black parallel channel. So we've broken outside the parallel channel. So if we do come back to retest price, it could be right around 75.50 or so, okay? Which is right at the top of the parallel channel. And then we could potentially bounce up. So this would be an area that I would consider going long. If we do get a retest and a support move right here, and then we potentially move back up, okay? So that's 75.50, all right? So keep that number in mind, okay? Because I'm gonna show you something else that's interesting. So let's go on the 1 hour, okay? So here's the 1 hour chart, all right? Now I want you to pay attention again, okay? So notice, I'm gonna delete this thing. All right, so I want you to notice right here. So we found a bottom right here around $6,800 a couple days ago, right? And then we went all the way to the top around $8,000. Notice where the price lands, okay, in terms of fib structures, if it does come back to that 75.50 area. It's the 382 fib. Remember, that is the top of this parallel channel. It's also the 382 fib. And guess what else? Okay, it is also the previous consolidation, right? Which is this area right here before we made that big move up. Okay, now here's the thing: BTC for the last couple of days has been moving very well in terms of technicals. Okay, now I'll show you why. All right, so if you look at this consolidation period right here, we broke up, came back, hit resistance, came back, retested the same consolidation area right here as support right here, and then we pushed away, right? So again, we pushed away from here, consolidated right here, and then we tested support right there. Okay, sorry, that's a kind of a bad drawing, but check this out, okay? We tested that support right there. So that was previous resistance. We broke up through it, tested it as support, and then pushed off, okay? So if we're making sort of that same assumption that BTC is acting well in terms of technicals, we could make the argument that BTC should be coming down all the way to this area, the top of this area that was previous resistance, use it as support. And that is right around, like I said, that 75.50 area to $7,600, okay? So if we get that retest right here, all right, that's a perfect area for us to watch for potential longs, okay? Because chances are, I mean, if we come back to this area, we're probably at least going to come back towards, $7,800, maybe even higher, maybe double top like that and then go down. Or it's also possible that, we start breaking through 8,000 or 8,200. But the point is that statistically, I would not want to be long unless I see a clean break above this 8,200 area, or I see a nice retracement back towards $8,500 to $8,600. Okay, I hope that's clear. And also, this is kind of interesting too. If we just kind of stretch this out, oh no, that's a bad way of stretching it actually. Let me see if I can draw this properly. This little parabolic curve that I had. Okay, so if we move that out, right? So we can push this out, and this parabolic curve, that structure that has been in place, we can even come down over the next, 12 to 18 hours, and we can hit that yellow block and still maintain this big parabolic structure, okay? So you can see the point that I'm making is all signs point towards a potential retest that would be very good for longs right into this area of the 382 fib. Now you're probably wondering, okay, well, if you're saying that we need to retest that particular area, so we should statistically go short, right? Well, yeah, you could make that argument, okay? Statistically, right now your bets are favored that you could go short, okay? Because we've already hit the critical resistance in this blue block right here, okay? So you can place a short, but here's the thing, okay? If you place a short, I have no idea what kind of wick we might get back into this block, okay? So say you enter a short right here, okay? Where we are right now. Your short stop will probably be at least above the EQ. So right around there, okay? So let's just say 81.42, right? And your first target would be right around this area, okay? $7,500, right? Or $7,550, like I said. So that's a decent risk to reward, right? 1.15. But just in case prices do spike up, right? You know, the decent stop above a critical resistance is probably higher than the high over here, which is the high of this wick. So that's got to be up here around 82.55. So now you can see your risk to reward ratio is greatly reduced. Now it's 0.81. Okay, so you can see how price right now statistically is not really in the best position for you to short, unless you want to be able to place a stop all the way up here and you do believe that price is going down. But I personally don't really know right now if price is ready to go down. For now, all it looks like is it's consolidating. Okay, I mean, it kind of looks like maybe a double top like this, and this is the first bottom. But again, nothing has really been sort of cemented, right? And the thing is, with so much bullish movement on the 1 hour time frame, with actually some pretty decent volume, right? If we look at the volume right here, it stepped up considerably, right? So I don't really know if I feel comfortable shorting this thing just yet, okay? Once I start seeing maybe some breakdown, yeah, it's very possible that I want to short. But for now, I'm a little bit more cautious and careful. But you now understand at least exactly why I'm looking at the 75.50 area again for a potential move down as a retracement. Okay. Now here's the thing. Okay, this is where also things get interesting. And notice, all right, here's the daily time frame. I want you guys to take a look at this. Okay, so remember on the daily, this is really the resistance right here. This black marker that you see going across, that's a real resistance. Okay. Notice that we were unable to close above that once, right? Twice, 3 times. Even this one right here, we can count as a 4, 5, 6 times. Okay, so what that tells us is, all 6 of those times we were unable to close above it. But this one right here, we call this a deviation, and basically, movement outside of the range where we see a candle closing above that. But look how quickly it got pushed back inside the 75.50. So this does often happen where price does break outside the range, creates a bit of a deviation, and then pulls back inside the range, okay? So the real marker to watch, whether it's the 1 hour time frame like I showed you earlier, the 4 hour, or even the daily, is 75.50, okay? Now, what we're looking at is we're pretty close to also this big descending trend line right here, okay? So you could see we're fairly close to hitting that trend line. I mean, depending how you draw the trend line, you may have already hit it or you're kind of far from it. But for me, a couple of, $50, $100 here and there, I really don't care, okay? But for the most part, we've hit a critical resistance area, which is this big descending trend line that we've held for the last 6 or 7 months. So that alone tells me that we are pretty much topped out or getting close to topping out, all right? It looks like BTC is breaking down. So let's check that out, okay? So you can see right there, BTC is breaking down and hit the previous, area of consolidation. Now we have to see what kind of reaction we get from it, right? We can see maybe a push back up, or we might break down further, okay? So we'll see. But anyway, point is, you understand now the importance of that 75.50 marker as a potential area to retrace, okay? Now, finally, I'm going to show you the weekly chart, okay? So here's where things get interesting on the weekly as well, all right? So even on the weekly, okay, you can see every single one of these candles, right? I know this blue marker is not exact, but every single one of these candles right around 75.50 has been unable to close above this area. Only today, or yesterday rather, we have finally broken above the area. But again, we have not closed above it just yet, okay? The weekly still has about 5 more days to go. So there's a long time to go in this weekly. Anything can happen. Okay, crazier things have happened in terms of weekly candles, right? Even something like this, right? Like that, okay? Where we see a $3,000 move up and then really the candle closes, just $2,000 above. Okay, so a third of the position basically got cut due to, supply coming in, okay? So point is, be careful, to think that we're done, okay? Because I don't think we are. All right, personally, I still do think that this big downtrend is still intact, okay? Now, I know there's arguments around going about how this is a big, left shoulder, head and right shoulder, and then, you know, just yesterday we broke up past that neckline, okay? So that's a fair argument, all right? But remember that necklines must be maintained, and we need to start seeing more bullish pressure on the way up. It doesn't mean that you simply break up past a neckline and then not break other critical resistance levels. Because what could happen is we could just come back, break that trend line and come back inside the neck range again, okay? So that's also very possible, okay? So the point is that I want you guys to, not be so bullish right away just because we've moved a couple $100, okay? We've hit some key resistance levels. Wait for other resistance levels to break down. Wait for the market to sort of show you that it wants to turn, and then it, eventually will give you signs to re-enter longs. Like I said, the retrace, waiting above 8,200 is probably your best bet, okay? Aside from that, I don't see any reason to take a long or short yet, all right? I hope that's clear, okay? All right, we had a question from the live chat. It said, at what price do we look at long-term spot buying again, retest of the inverse head and shoulders or beyond the 10K mark? So that's a really great question, all right? So like I said, you can definitely wait for the retest of the neckline. Okay, so if we drew the neckline, it'd probably be, something like this, okay? Somewhere close to that, like let's just say something like that, just to be safe. So if we get a retest on top of the neckline, that's around $7,400, okay? I would probably say, good retest is probably 75.50 right here. Test that as support and then start breaking outside of this big descending trend line. That would be your first indication that we may be turning around, okay? But that doesn't mean that we've broken through some key resistance levels, okay? Because remember, like I showed you, as per that 4-hour block, okay, we've spent 2 days of consolidating right here in the 8,000 to 8,200 region. So a break above that is probably your first huge sign that, okay, it looks like things might be turning around, but that hasn't happened yet, okay? Your next big sign as per the daily time frame is this blue block right here, this big consolidation that we had right here, where in my opinion, shorts were loaded up and then this sold off. That's the next big level, okay? So once we see prices close above 9,500 on a daily time frame, that might be your second indication that, okay, it looks like the market's turning around. Now, I know everyone wants to be able to catch the bottom of the market and be able to long all the way to, from 6.5K down here, all the way to 10,000 or 20,000, whatever. It's just not going to happen. I mean, you might get lucky once or twice, but you're not going to get lucky on both sides. You might be able to catch the bottom, but you might not be able to sell the top. Or you might be able to sell the top, but you weren't able to catch the bottom, okay? So the point is, stop worrying about that kind of stuff. Focus on what the technicals are showing you. Focus on the true, reasoning for the breakouts. If critical resistance levels have been broken, trade the chart as is, and I promise you, you will never really lose as much money in this market, okay? You might lose money, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna break the bank, okay? You will contain your risk, and eventually you will be profitable if you manage your risk properly, if you take profits often, okay? So we've went through the 30-minute time frame, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, and the weekly, all right? So now you guys understand the importance of the 75-50 area, okay? Now, there's another question, and this person asked, all right, are we still in the bear market or change? I mean, still looking for 5,800 or are we flying high? Okay, so again, we are still trapped in this descending trend line, right? So in my opinion, nothing has really changed. I don't see any reason to be bullish just yet, just because, we've had some small movement in this market where it looks like, we moved up a couple $100, right? I mean, we had this right here and everyone became bullish, but we actually shorted this in our Cryptosomniac community. And I'll be honest, we did not get to ride any of this as longs, okay? At least I personally did not ride this. But what I did was we were able to short the top, take some profit down here, short over here, take some profit down here. And we kept shorting and shorting and shorting. And this is where people fail to realize that the market was still in a downtrend. And again, it still is in a downtrend, right? And there's nothing that has changed drastically in terms of structure, okay? All that's really changed is we've moved a couple of $100. We've made some nice, bullish candles, and that's it. Okay, really nothing else. All right. So be careful, the people trying to pitch to you that this is the start of a new bull rally. I mean, listen, if they're right, they have some crystal ball that none of us do, or they're just lying and they got lucky. But for the most part, I mean, it's hard to imagine that in this market we're basically still sitting under resistance. Okay, remember, like I said, this area right here, that was previous support right there, it's now capping price as resistance. Okay, that's right around this $7,500, $7,800 area as per the weekly chart. Okay, so the highest time frame is already telling you that, hey, it looks like things are still weak. And by the way, the weekly has not closed yet. So as you can see clearly, that because the weekly has not closed, we understand that price could still be pushed down by the end of the week. Okay, so be careful of people telling you that this is the bottom and this is your last chance to buy BTC or some garbage like that. Okay, all right, I hope that's clear. Okay, so again, for those of you watching our Cryptosomniac videos and you've been watching these for days or weeks or months, come join the Advantage side, folks, and you will see the benefits of our community. We have a 50% off deal, like I said earlier, for first-time members. You can message me right here. You can come join the Discord link in the YouTube description below. We do crypto payments. We also do PayPal. Unfortunately, it's not on the website just yet, but I will let you guys know how we can make those payments happen, all right, through the Cryptosomniac website, okay? So I hope that helps. I'm gonna take a couple of questions and then we'll finish it off, okay? Could I take a look at the 21-day and 50-day moving averages and then weekly 50 MA? Okay, so 21-day, right? Okay, so let's look at the 50 MA on the weekly first, okay? So here's the 50 MA on the weekly, all right? So price is actually hitting it right now, and we're actually above that price right now. So that's a positive sign. But again, the week still has 5 more days to go. But again, this is a positive sign that we are hitting it, and we have not closed, a daily above, or I'm sorry, a weekly above this for the last, 4 weeks or so, or 5 weeks, right? So a positive sign nonetheless for now, all right? All right, so now let's look at the 21 day. Okay, and what was the other one? 21-day and 50-day moving averages. Okay, so we have the 21 right there. We have 50 right there. Okay, I think that was it. All right, so here we have it. Okay, so we've broken above the 21 day and the 50 moving average. Okay, so it looks like the 21 is the red, the 50 is the green. Okay, so we've broken above both of those, right? And again, this is a positive sign, right? But we've done this a couple of times. As you can see, we've broken above the 21 day right there, okay? But then we got pulled back under, right? Even over here, broke up above it and then got pulled back over or under. So we've done that a couple of times. But the point is that the structure, okay, moving averages, again, are kind of lagging in a sense because you don't really get to see exactly, how price is turning until much later the moving averages turn with it, okay? So this is why for me, drawing diagonals, drawing horizontals, and looking at key SR levels, just based on these horizontals that I draw, are much more important because this is giving you an idea of the structure live as prices are moving, not a moving average. I'm not saying moving averages are not important, but I'm saying that, when you start looking at raw price action like this, and you simply just focus on the horizontals, the diagonals, looking at key SR levels where supply or demand could be, that is much more useful than any other indicator that you will ever, look at or buy. I promise you, okay? Can you explain the CME futures gap in 7,600 to 7,700? Sure. Okay. So let's see. One. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we can see already there's a gap present between $7,600 to $7,700, right? So historically, gaps, have been filled many times than they have not, okay? So statistically, we can make the argument that this gap potentially needs to be filled in the next couple of days. And obviously, like I said, this resides right around that area that I told you guys about, that 75.50 area, right? So we could definitely pull back all the way down there and fill that gap. Okay, so it's very possible that we fill this gap and then potentially keep moving up. Okay, let's see here. On the hourly, we see a gravestone doji at the last spike up and now 2 red candles. Okay, so let's check that out. All right, so let me check that. Okay, so yes, this is definitely a gravestone doji candle, and now we see 2 bearish candles right here sitting. Look like they're pretty bearish, but again, nothing has clearly happened yet. All we're really doing is this consolidation period. We basically hit that same area as support. Okay, so we could pop back up. If we break through it, I mean, you could take a short under this area. All right, let's see here. But yeah, obviously right now things don't look so good for BTC. It does look like a top, a double top. Okay. Now, again, like I said, if you do want to short, all right, your short stop would be somewhere all the way up here, because we could potentially just wick back up here and then push down, right? So be careful on that. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, on the hourly, okay, we talked about that. Yes, I do pay a lot of attention to the style of candle it is, especially gravestone dojis, bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing, bullish pin bars, evening stars, dojis, etc. Okay. What are your thoughts on using line chart on a daily to draw a trend line? Okay, so we'll see. We'll see how I think I've tested it before. But let's check. Okay, so here's a line chart right there. Let's see how we're going to draw a trend line. Okay, so kind of like this, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if you're taking it like that, we still have more room to go. Or maybe something like this, I guess. Yeah. Even that, I mean, as you can see, we're pretty close to topping off, or basically we've already topped off as per the line chart. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's pretty useful. I don't see any reason not to use the line chart. If it works for you, it works for you. Okay, I have no a particular technique to impress upon you guys to do it this way or that way. I'm of the belief that if something works for you and you're making money consistently, don't change your system. I have my own system. People know I have my own system and they like my system, so they follow it, right? Okay. I think I'm going to wrap up the session, folks. It's gone on for about 40 minutes or so. So I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. Yeah, so obviously, again, in the Cryptosomniac community, you guys will know exactly how I'm going to position myself, whether it's, going long or short. Every single analysis trade setup I put out is in these channels right here, the lock channels for our Advantage members. Like I said, take advantage of this while it's hot, 50% discount. Message me right here. We take crypto or PayPal invoices, and you can buy 1 month or 3 months. Okay. All right, folks. I hope to see y'all soon. Come join the Advantage side and take care of yourself and set your stops tight. Okay. Cheers.